across notebooks and napkins and pieces of scrap paper with pens, pencils, markers, and crayons. Hell, I'll scribble my shit with sidewalk chalk if I have to. I write down every single rhyme, lyric, and poem that comes to me. You see, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, take a deep breath, and continue on at that pace for days. I got no need to kiss the blondie stone because my gift of gab is uncanny, and that paired with my love for the road to Rick gives me the ability to talk my way in and out of the death sentence. I swear to God, I could look Dick Cheney in the face and convince him to vote for gay rights. And I tell you all of this only to preface the magnitude of what happens when I wake up in the morning. The sun blaring through my windows, illuminating dust particles permanently suspended in the air, awkward skin back into my eyes, and I am left completely fucking speechless. Because I realize this is the being that I want to be with. But baby, this poem's not for you. For 3 reasons. Number 1, love poems are overdone, cliche, and stand to be ridiculed. Number 2, I could never do your beauty and the way you love me justice. That would take me a lifetime in volumes. And number 3 is a little bit more complicated. You see, on the second day of every year I am marked another year older, and this year I am 26. And that coupled with the idea that I'm tall, white, left-handed, I got a titanium rod in my spine, and I eat an American diet means that my life expectancy is somewhere in the mid-70s, so the first third of my life is over. And my childhood is long since past, and ever since I've been headlong cast in this idea of what it means to be a man, and at conclusion I am left with only one question. Had I sons, what would I teach them? If I followed in my father's footsteps, I'd be dead in a decade. Drink till my liver was swollen, then write a suicide note to my wife in which I would ask her to sing our boys Danny Boy when I'm gone, so that they know that they're Irish. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. And then I'd string myself up and leave her and our 2 sons to fend for themselves. No, I will sing them Danny Boy. I will tell them they are Irish. I will not be my father. That is not what I would teach them. If I followed from pop culture and popular society, between the ages of 11 and 16, I'd sit them down in a 10-minute conversation, teach them everything they need to know about the birds and the bees, and leave everything else up for society to teach. And from all of that, this is what they might glean. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Base your social success off of how much pussy you get, and when you buy a car, base it off 2 criteria. Number 1, how much tail it will pull, and number 2, when you step on the gas, it gives you a sense of power, because power is everything. So after you buy that car, just drive it around with your mind on your money and your money on your mind, because money is power and power is everything. So keep that in mind when seeking gainful employment, because anything less than 100 grand a year won't bring you enough enjoyment. When it comes to physique, keep that body mass index underneath 13, because muscle is power and power is everything. So if anyone ever looks at you funny, take a swing, knock them to the ground. Go big or go home, don't you ever back down. As a matter of fact, the only emotions you need are horny and angry. No, I will not leave them to the wolves of society. That is not what I would teach. So what would I teach them? I would hope that when grown to a man and asked, they would say that masculinity and manhood isn't defined by being frightened, power domination over attention. They would say it's about being enough of a man to express your emotion. They would say that walking away from a fight doesn't make me less of a man, it makes me more of one. By showing my levels, walking away from a fight doesn't make me less of a man, it makes me more of one. By showing my levels of self-control, because when you swing your fist, all you're doing is showing the rest of the world what they can already see, which is when you're angry, you resort back to being 5 years old, just kicking and screaming, except for this time, instead of the floor, it's someone else's face that takes the beating. At least back then, your hissy fits didn't come with the fear of crying and weeping, because when I look around in our society for examples of how to treat this thing that lies next to me each night, I don't see much in the ways of things I'd like to emulate. Instead, what I see are psychotic reality TV dramas, hyper-masculinity, and hypersexualization of women's bodies being turned into a precious commodity, and I just can't bring myself to think that this is what our society has come to be, because my mother always told me that you are beautiful and unstoppable, and I can't help but think that the rest of the world is just as capable. So what would I teach my daughters and my sons? I would teach them what my mother taught me, that in life there is tragedy, but there is also value and character built through perseverance, through adversity. There are things that bring hatred, but with that hatred only comes misery. So it is through forgiveness you will find peace, and I would teach them through example that we love who we love, no matter what others think. And we should teach those that we treat those that we love with dignity and respect in all levels of engagement, especially disagreement, because believe it or not, there are fair rules to fighting and relationship disagreement. And beating, screaming, abusive language are not among them, because the person I love above all is my partner and my friend. And I will tend to that friendship. I will look them in the eyes and say, baby, I am not yours and you are not mine, because I refuse to claim any ownership over you, but I will walk by your side, not in front of you. I will lift you up when you need it, and I will ask for your hand when I have been beaten. You make me want to be more of a man than I have ever tried, but this poem is not for you for 3 reasons. Number 1, Love poems are overdone, cliche, and stand to be ridiculed. Number 2, I could never do your beauty and our love justice that would take me a lifetime in volumes. And number 3, this poem is designed as a thank you. A thank you to my mother for teaching me how to be more of a man than any man ever tried to teach me.